Hey, good evening, guys. Welcome to another Fresh Crack Friday. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Got a special one lined up as we're going to go through some High West Rendezvous Rye. We'll set this up if you haven't heard. It looks like Rendezvous Rye is headed to a limited release only schedule. It's not going to be something that's regularly put out on the shelves anymore. We've seen the label in TTB, and a local distributor confirmed to me, at least in my area, that Rendezvous Rye is not coming back around as a normal release. So I'm going to taste through some different batches throughout the years. I've got a 2012, 2014, 2016, and 2019. So the Golden Knot, I'm going to blind taste through these and see if the older batches and any in particular really stand out versus the new batches. So the difference, for those that don't know, previous to 2018, so 2017 and back, Rendezvous Rye was a mix of 16-year-old Barton and 6-year-old MGP. And in 2018, they started incorporating their own distillate mixed with the MGP. So the Barton is gone at this point. So it's a lot younger. It's going to taste different. Let's start off by showing you, for anybody who isn't aware, this is where you find the batch. What year these are from on a Rendezvous Rye. It's right here. Batch 12. That means it's from 2012, the first number. And it's pretty easy to guess from there. And these are still out there and around. I've had people, within the last few months, come across 2012, 13, 14, seen some 17s today. And the 17 actually has some rye in it that's up to 19 years old. So it gets even a little older than the 16. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in and start nosing some of these four that we have available here. So I'll start with the first one. These are blind. I'm not going to check until the end to see what they are. So that's nice spearmint. Loads of vanilla on this one. This is glass B. I can see that through the painter's tape on the bottom. I don't know what's in it. Very bright and not over oaked or anything. What's up, Dakota? Thanks for joining. So nose number 2 here. This one's a bit darker. It's not quite as bright as the first one. It makes me think there is something a little different in this one. The vanilla's still there, but there's more some stone fruit going on with it. Move over to this third one. Wow, this one's far lighter. Far lighter than the first two. The nose just doesn't stand up. And three. Well, so these are all different. This last one here is more like a fresh baked rye bread. So they're all over the place as far as the nose. So there is big variance in here. I think it's going to be easy to rank these, and it's not going to take, that long. So I'm going to jump back in and start tasting through the first one. So let's head back to the nose. That one's got a nice mint and vanilla is what I would say on this one. That really jumps out. It's a nice nose. It's a typical, that's MGP and Barton mix, right? It's the spearmint from the MGP, and then you got the vanilla from the Barton. Play together nice. Huge vanilla on the front end, really creamy vanilla on the front. On the mid palate, that spearmint starts to come in. Then towards the finish, it kind of goes to dill. There is a nice oak structure. The finish is actually still going. So it's over now. It's a medium finish, but it works through stages on the finish. It starts out, the dill leads it off, the oak comes in, then the vanilla goes through, washes everything out. That's pretty good. These are all good. But so that's a good start. Take a drink of water and we'll move on to glass number 2 here. So the nose on this one's quite different. Way fruitier. Picking up like some stone fruit. And the rye is more like it's not giving off that dill or spearmint thing. It's like a straight up rye grain, like in rye bread. Vanilla not as present as the first either. Mm. These are all the same proof. They're 92 proof, non-chill filtered. That second one is just a lot lighter. The flavor just doesn't stand up. I don't know what's going on in that one. So, I mean, it was the same type of thing with the vanilla. There's a bit of caramel in it, actually, that changes it up a bit. But when that rye note comes through, it is that, that winter mint that comes through in the middle. But it's just light compared to the first one. The first one just had a lot more flavor. This one does add the caramel, but where that first one had the finish that went on and on, not too long, but a lot longer than this one. So, for the first pass, first one's still number one, the second's number two. We'll rank them, and then we'll do side by sides coming back through to end up with a final here. All right, a much brighter nose. Not really citrusy, but it is brighter. When I say brighter, I'm saying it doesn't have the oak structure as much, and it's not got those, like dark brown sugar notes in it. So this is closer. This one to me is closer to an MGP rye. It's really mint forward. And it does have some more spice than the previous two. Vanilla's there as well. So the mix is still on, but this one seems more MGP forward. All right, this one's really similar to the previous one. That was a bit lighter, not as bold as the first one we tried. But this one, compared to the previous, the finish has more vanilla still going on. It's the complexity in the finish that puts this sample, keeps it going above that second one. So we'll move that into second place right now. It's not got the boldness that the first one had to take over the top spot early on. But we'll put it there for now. All right, and this is D, so this is the fourth and last one we have. For those of you that have joined in over the last couple minutes, what I've got here is a 2012, 2014, 2016, and 2019 Rendezvous Rye. So this one's got a lot more fruit and vanilla with that spearmint rye bread as well. This one's got it all. So the notes that we've picked up, the only thing that we've picked up in another one that not getting here on the nose is the caramel. So far this one's got the most complex nose of any. Spearmint in a big way in the middle, but there's some grain in this one, just like some raw milled grain. I'm just not a huge fan of that. Some people are. I get that a lot in Jim Beam products, and I don't really care for those. I've given those some pretty low scores in the past. Man, the nose is killer on this one. I was hoping the palate followed up to it, but it just doesn't quite. So I'm going to put that one in fourth. All right, so we have our initial ranking here. What I'm going to do is start at the back here, and we're going to do a side-by-side. One moves on, one moves down, the drill, until we get back through and we have a champion. So this is the fourth and third place sample. We'll start nosing these two side by side with the fourth place. Now, after tasting the grain, I'm picking up in the nose too. It's just not something I'm a huge fan of, honestly. Man, it's got all the other notes there. It's vanilla, it's caramel, a little bit. It's got the spearmint. It's got the rye spice. All the stuff's there in the nose, but there is that raw grain hanging around as well, which is kind of off-putting to me. And in comparison, the third one's just very light. Spearmint and vanilla, but there's not much else going on. So I'm going to start by tasting the one in my left hand. Huge spearmint up front. Spearmint basically all the way through. There's some vanilla. Pick them in the middle. A little bit of oak carrying on. But that's really about it for that one. It's not overly complex, but the flavors that are there are good. So this is the one that started in last place. We'll do side by side. That grain's just not doing it for me. There's no doubt that this one's going to finish last. And we'll see. I mean, if you like the raw grain note, this one may be for you, but it's not doing it for me. So we'll slide that down to last. So now we'll do the second place one, see what we end up with here. So the nose is fruitier on the one that just moved on. But there's a lot more caramel, sweet, sugary notes in the one that's going up against now. So start with glass number 2 here. Caramel vanilla. It's almost, this one oddly is drinking closer to a bourbon than a rye with the notes I'm getting out of it. But it does have the rye spice on the back end. And there is some spearmint in the middle. There's some stuff going on. But this one drinks closer to a bourbon. So thanks, Paul. Good to have you in here. Let's go up to the one that just moved on out of the last place loser bracket. All right, so this one, spearmint vanilla, the oak's there on the finish. I'm going to move that one on. So whatever came in third place here is it's really good. I really enjoy it. The reason I'm going to move it down to third is just for the fact that it drinks more bourbon-y than the others for some reason. Not to say that's bad, but when I'm reaching for a bottle of rye, I'm looking for the rye experience. All right, now, so here are the top 2 finishers. Time to go side by side and see what comes out on top. So this is the initial number 1. A lot of spearmint and rye spice going on there. Vanilla, loads of vanilla. That's a good nose. So this other one's just a bit lighter. Really similar in profile. It's just a bit softer and a bit more subtle, which may be doing it for some people. So let's do the taste here. Oh man, that's got it all. And it's got the finish. The finish is what's killing it for this one. Man, it's still going. And it's shifting. It's going from the dill on the back end that leads into the palate, or into the finish, sorry. You got the oak, you got the vanilla, then it's ending with a bit of spice, and then the vanilla washes it out. Man, it's there. It's really good. So let's go with the competition. That one's good too. But it's just not on par with that one. So they're ranked. Let me pull my guide out that my wife left for me. See where we end up at. I saw somebody else do this recently, and the 2019 or 2020 actually came out on top. So last place D is the 2012. Okay, that's wild. Next to last, A, 2016 in third place. C, second place, 2014. So the winner is the 2019. 2019 it is. So this is one of the ones that has the High West distillate in it. I'll tell you this, it doesn't have the age that the others do, but I'll be damned if it's not the most complex of all of these. So thanks for joining in, guys. Before I sign off, I want to share something with you guys. If you missed out on the new riff pick, move on over to TennesseeWinterBeerFest.com. There's a silent auction going on that benefits the Children's Advocacy Center here in Blount County. And what they do is they work with children who have been victims of child abuse, and it's a safe place for them to go in and tell the story about what's happened to them. Only have to tell it once instead of going over it again and again with the police, the social workers, etc. It's a great charity. If you go on their site, TennesseeWinterBeerFest.com, there is a bottle of the Purple Riff pick up there. There's also a gift set from Wicked Weed. There's Bourbon County beer sets. There's Bourbon County verticals. There's a KBS vertical. There's some packages from the brewery in there. Dogfish Head. Good list of stuff in there. If you go on there, if you win anything, it is local pickup. But if you guys are buying anything on there, just send me a message and I'll take care of the shipping and ship it over to you for taking care of them. But guys, it's been an interesting one. I honestly didn't expect the 2019 to come out on top, but it goes to show you that, age necessarily isn't everything. High West is obviously putting out some great distillate, and it's got the complexity that the earlier batches didn't have. So I wouldn't be out scrounging up paying top dollar for these old batches. Just go with what's on the shelf right now. Go ahead and stock yourself up a little supply to hold yourself over while it goes limited release, and just snatch those up as they come along. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Next week, I'm going to be joined by them asses, the Degenerate crew. We're going to be drinking with the Degens. That's always a good time. So tune in next week at 9 o'clock, and we'll see you then. Cheers, guys. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button on the little video. Have a good evening.